What's up guys, welcome back to Mr. Tech Boss, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys .os, and this is a really cool ROM. This is actually really different from stock Android. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get right in. Okay, so guys, before we get started, please make sure to join my Telegram group from the link in the description below. It's pretty dead right now. I want you guys to revive it if you could do that, and let's chat there. And if you do have any questions or any files that you want to download or you can't find, do hit me up on my Telegram group. So first things first, let's get into settings and about phone and Android version. So it is obviously Android 11 and it's using perf kernel, which is the only thing I don't like about ROMs. They're not using OSS vendor. I do prefer OSS over MIUI vendor, even though it has less battery life. It's just smoother, so I prefer smoothness, but it doesn't matter, you can prefer this. So yeah, so I wish it was based on OSS, but it's not. So by the way, this is the first build, so there are a couple bugs here and there, but this is using the latest Android version and the latest kernel version. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now let's actually start with the super fast app opening test. That's what I call it. So where I open a bunch of apps really fast and look for frame drops. I mean, right now I just installed this ROM. Usually ROMs, right when you install them, they're usually fine. Usually after a day or two, MIUI ROMs, especially MIUI vendor based ROMs, they do start to lag a bit. And if you do have any questions, do hit me up on Telegram if you want to know about how my experience is. So anyway, let's get into oops, I almost dropped my phone. So now let's get into what's the most important. So firstly, let's start with the notification panel. As you can actually see that they totally changed it. It's transparent and it's just cool, and it's just really cool. It's really different from stock Android. It's more like MIUI 11-ish, at least the brightness bar, but the rest isn't. Yeah, so if you go into settings, first let's go into Wi-Fi and network. This is pretty standard for the most part. Yeah, this part's pretty standard. But if you go into customization, this is where the magic lies. So firstly, the wallpapers panel is also a bit different. It's big and it's cool. It just has a lot of cool wallpapers and it's rounded, which I really like. And the status bar, you can do a bunch of customization. So yeah, this round UI, I really appreciate it. It looks so cool. It's kind of like those toggles on iOS in the home app, but yeah, it's really cool. So let's say if I want to enable it, you can actually do it like this. This is how they're doing it. So if I want a percentage, I can do it inside, and you can also change the battery stats. So let's set it to circle. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that seems pretty good. You can also do a bunch of stuff, like you want to enable seconds, which I don't know why people want to. You can set clock in the center, on the right, whatever you want to do, you can do that. You can also add the style. You can change a lot of stuff. Actually, I really recommend you guys to try this ROM out unless the bugs really bother you. Alright, so moving on, you do have a bunch of stuff here. You can pause the video if you don't want to read them properly, because I'm going through them a bit faster than you might be able to read. And let's go into this Aod and Lock Screen. So they have actually added like a preview of most of the things that you can actually do. Right now it says always on feature not supported. I don't know why it says that, but yeah. So if I go into FOD animations, this is really cool. This is the only ROM which actually shows you the animations. So if I press any of these animations, let's say this one, and then press start animation, it would actually show you. This is really cool actually. And let's go into the one that I like the most, maybe, I don't know, not the most maybe, but yeah, you can actually see what it looks like. Also, if you go into FOD icons, you can change the icon. This part's usual, but you do get a preview here, and this is really cool. I don't know why I'm saying cool so much. Well, because it actually is really exciting. So if you go into FOD options, it also shows you a preview of the colors that you might that you might want to check through if your FOD or fingerprint on display isn't working as fast as you want it to for some reason. But once that's done, let's move on to this part, themes. So yeah, again, this is also really cool. So let's say purple color, they've totally customized how this whole thing looks. You can actually go through this as I just mentioned a few seconds ago by pausing the video, but I'm just going to go through it a bit faster because I don't really want the video to be too long. So let's say I like this, I just tap on it and boom. And also you do have the app icons. Now before we move on, let's enable dark mode because I want to show you guys how it looks in dark mode. So yeah, as you can see, it looks pretty cool. And by the way, yes, you can change the grid, and yeah, it's still using Google Launcher because that's probably the best one available right now for Android 11. Hopefully Launcher will get support soon. But yeah, you can also go here and change a bunch of stuff like enable double tap to wake. And there's the one bug that I want to talk about before we move on. So if I turn off the screen and then turn it back on, as you can see, this element or the pill is maxed out. It's also high brightness in HBM actually, if you know what I'm talking about. Its brightness is really high. So what I recommend you guys to do is go here into system and actually navigation pill. You can disable that and then you won't have that there. But yeah, other than that it's fine. Also, there's one thing, if you double tap to wake, it's kind of like slow and sometimes random. Right now it's fine, but other than that, there's this really annoying bug. I'm sure it'll be fixed in the next build, but whenever you on the lock screen and turn off the screen, it maxes out the brightness for a second and then turns it actually off. But yeah, regarding FOD, that's pretty good, that's pretty fast, just like most other MIUI based ROMs and OSS ROMs. So fingerprint on display shouldn't be a problem. That's pretty good actually right now. It's on par with MIUI. But yeah. Now there is also this animation, like whenever you go into some tile and then or sub menu, then you can go back and it just slides out. And that looks pretty good. Like they've done a lot of work. We can clearly see that. Now moving on to battery, it does have this the theme going on here as well. Like you have black here and then grayish on all the toggles, and all the text is written on gray, which is pretty cool. Now let's go into here, and this part looks pretty standard. So if we go back and now into display, you by the way do have anti-flicker mode. So if you do use that a lot, you do have it here. Yeah, you do have that here. And yeah, now moving on to sound, again this theme continues, and these are rounded. So yeah, by the way, this is how the volume rocker looks, pretty cool, and the theme continues here. Yeah, now if we go back into storage, this is exactly like it normally looks, so there are no changes made to this. Kind of wish they had rounded this, maybe they'll do it soon. But yeah, other than that, the rest is pretty much like it normally is, other than the few that are at the bottom right here. So if you go into about phone, this is also really different. As you might have seen at the start, they've copied the layout of MIUI here, which is pretty good. And yeah, that's basically about it. Oh, and by the way, the default camera app is this garbage camera app. I really recommend you install Gcam and ANX camera if you want, but Gcam is the necessity here if you want to use your camera properly. But yeah, other than that guys, there's this one little cool feature. If you go into themes, you can actually choose a different accent color for a dark mode. So let's say I want red in dark, and in light I want red, and in dark I want let's say for some reason I want this one. And now if I apply and on light theme, 1 second, I choose red color and I apply that as well. And now if I switch between dark mode and light mode, it'll actually switch between those two colors. So sometimes some colors aren't that good in dark mode, or while they are good in light mode. It's just cool. There was an app, or you could do this before using Substratum, but now it's just integrated into the ROM, and this is a really cool feature. Alright, so if you do want to be rooted, I do have good news for you. So if you go into here, Magisk, and then go into settings, enable Magis Guide. Just make sure, no, not Magis Manager, just enable Magis Guide, go back, and if you do check safety net, it should be fine, unless you're unlucky and your this safety net depends on hardware attestation. Then you can't really do about it anything right now, or at least that I do know of. If you don't know anything, let me know in the description. But yeah, that is basically about it. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video, and please subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. But anyway, that is basically about it, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one, hopefully soon.